Ghosts in the machine, Control, but I'm checking here. No, nada, nothing. Let your imagination run wild. What the hell? Control, Russo's off my scope, moving in. Nothing. Russo? It can't be.
Boss, Russo.
You're all mine.
Can't shake him. He's got lock. Collision alert. Failure. Need help.
He's all yours, Dragon Leader.
Goodbye.
Unknown contact. This is an unarmed Confederation medical transport evacuating civilian refugees. We will heave to and prepare to be boarded. You must break off your attack.
The border worlds take no prisoners.
Mayday! This
Yeah, that's a little something to remember us by.
destroyed our escort. Mayday!
Lighting the flash pack.
Rendezvous Sigma 3 is planned.
To border forces, we appreciate.
Well, I'd call that a successful test. Let's go.
Order! Order, order. The House will come to order. You'll shortly have an opportunity to voice your opinions of the recent horrific occurrences that have taken place near the border worlds. But before we do that, I thought it fit to invite the commander of the Strategic Readiness Agency to address the House, Admiral Tolwyn.
Thank you. Thank you! Thank you, Senator. Ladies and gentlemen of the Great Confederation Assembly, as commander of the SRA, I'm charged with many duties. Foremost of these is the protection of the frontiers of our galaxy. Unfortunately, I stand before you today with very few answers.
What do you mean,
The random acts of violence taking place in the border world still remain a mystery.
Renegade pirates, I tell you. No, it's worse. Border World's militia is behind it.
Let me remind you that during the long war with the Kilrathi, the border worlds were a loyal ally.
And now they attack us!
Let us not allow lust for revenge to cloud our thinking. We mustn't forget who our friends are. However, we must also keep in mind that during the war, certain social and political changes were taking place along the frontier. Now, whether or not these changes relate to the senseless acts of terrorism remains to be seen. But see to it I will. I can promise you that.
Admiral, you are aware that the increase in these incidents has raised the tension between us and the border worlds to a dangerous level. But before this august body commits itself to a grave and irrevocable action, I have asked the Admiral to investigate and report back to us in 2 week Admiral, go with the blessing of this assembly and of every peace-loving person in the galaxy. Go with God.
Thank you.
In 2 weeks, we shall vote on war or peace.
This concludes our live coverage of Admiral Pullman's address to the Great Assembly. Barbara.
Thanks, Bob. These next 2 weeks will tell if we have any hope of resolving the tensions that are growing at the very fringes of our society. Good evening. This has been the Team 10.
What can I get you?
Oh, give me a Hell's Kitchen.
Things just ain't the same since the war ended. You got a lot of guys coming home and just not enough jobs to go around.
Well, we all make our own way.
You a vet?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hey, I've seen your picture before. Hold on. You.
Thanks for the drink.
Hey, wait, honey. What?
I'm not waiting. Don't call me honey. These kids are all the same.
I guess women out here on the edge of nowhere can't appreciate a civilized man.
Sure they do. When they meet one.
Good to see you too, Colonel. Or should I say Farmer Blair. Glad you could fit me into your busy schedule.
It's a peaceful life.
I've always said you're either an earthworm or an eagle.
So what, you must have been flying since the last time
Since
I
you
saw
got lucky on that bombing run on Kilrathi? Yeah, of course I'm still flying. What else is there? Beats tromping around in fertilizer.
Do as I ask.
Nothing more.
Anybody gonna stop this?
Not my problem. Maybe you should go over and tell him who's boss, Colonel War Hero.
This is the way you treat all your friends? You just remember you're not my friend.
Oh, that's obvious.
You're lucky I don't kill you right now.
Let him go.
I don't see where this is your concern, mister.
I'm prepared to make it my concern.
You're gonna wish you never met me.
I already do.
Personally, I can't wait until we meet again.
Of course, I would have backed you up if you tried anything. Oh, is he gone? Come on! Come on, pal!
So what was the important matter you wanted to discuss?
Colonel Christopher Blair, Confederation Space Force Reserves. It's my duty to inform you, you are being recalled to active military service.
Haven't you heard, Maniac? The war is over.
They sent me here to get you.
Who sent you?
Who said that? How should I know? Somebody high up. They don't tell majors everything, you know. And you'd think with all the years I put in of service... Well, I'll never understand Confed command decisions anyway. I mean, why they put an aging earthworm back in the cockpit. Why I'm not a colonel. You know, just because a guy gets lucky on one mission, happens to vanquish an enemy we've been fighting for eons.
When do we leave?
Leave. Oh, I arranged for a couple fighters. They're waiting in the port.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Think you can remember how to get this baby off the ground? Huh? Oh. Nice liftoff. For a dinosaur. Been a few eons since you held a flight stick, huh, Colonel? Or did you find some sand princess to hold it for you back there? You don't have to answer that.
Me?
Oh, yeah, I know. But you can't say you haven't missed my sparkling repartee just a little. What you see before you, Colonel Blair, is just one of what will be many victories for the border worlds.
Who was that guy? How did he know your name?
I wish I knew. I would love to get my hands on whoever he is.
You see the movie club back there? You called me a hot dog, right?
Well, that wasn't hot dogging, maniac. That was the move of a true master.
Is that the victory? Can you believe it? It's an orbital museum now. Relic of the war. Like some farmers are now.
Magnificent, aren't they? I bet you wish you had one of those during the war. Would have put the fear of God into the Kilrathi.
Well, carriers don't fly themselves, Admiral.
Quite right, Colonel. It looks like the pastoral life agrees with you. I'm envious. Yeah, if I was a little more confident in the Confederation security, I'd walk away in an instant. Well, reports are that you ran into some trouble on your way here.
Yes, sir.
Law and order. Concepts that seem to be crumbling throughout the Confederation.
These are transitional times, Admiral.
Yes, but in the Kilrathi, we had a common enemy. It was humanity's finest hour. Now we cast about uncertain. Well, you've seen it for yourself. The wanton destruction. That's why Confed needs your services. Your experience again.
Well, you know where my loyalties have always been, sir.
Something we count on, Colonel. For the past months now, there's been an undeclared war waged against us. Acts of terrorism, piracy, sabotage. Every time I connect the dots, I'm always guided back to our longtime allies in the border worlds.
And you think they've undertaken some kind of guerrilla war?
Well, their relationship with Confed has always been uneasy. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance.
Which is where I come in.
Well, we have a long history together. One that, I dare say, has been a bit rocky in the past.
We have had our differences, sir.
Yeah. But there's no denying our achievements. Which is why I have personally reinstated you to active duty. Not only will you be my eyes and ears, but your very presence in the border worlds will send a potent message to all the galaxy.
I am no politician, sir.
Actions speak louder than words, Colonel. I'm not sending you there merely as a symbol. I'm putting you back in the cockpit, where you'll be reunited with an old friend. The thrill of battle.
Maniac. My call sign? It's how I live. It's how I fly. Because that's the name. Come on, around. Because that's the name of the tune, right?
Hey, Maniacs.
Blair.
Oh, my gosh.
Colonel Blair,
nice meeting you. Well, thank you. Let me take your bag. Thank you very
Colonel
much.
Blair, sir.
It's an honor, sir.
Nice to meet you.
What?
All hail the mighty heart of the tiger. You know, you're not the only war hero in Confed. I've taken out more cats than most ships' entire attachments. Do I get the red carpet treatment? No. No, I carry my own duffel bag. I don't go schmoozing with the Admiral. Admiral Towin. Has he said anything about me?
You haven't heard? He couldn't stop talking about you, Maniac.
What?
Well, it's classified. I mean, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
I got clearance. I'll tell you about it later. Wait a minute.
Colonel, you remember our bet?
I was hoping you'd forget, Captain.
I told you you weren't through with flying. You kept telling me you were done.
I'll never say never, I guess. I gotta tell you, this ship really puts the victory to shame. Looks like Confed's been taking good care of you.
Yes, they've been taking care of me. It's a different task now, but that means I still need good pilots.
Captain Eisen, please report to the bridge.
We're getting ready to jump to the Hellespont system. Take care of a little trouble. If you take a good look around, you'll find it a lot different from your last tour of duty.
Deck coffee has been canceled today. Anti-gravity technology.
Look what the solar winds blew in. Welcome aboard, Colonel. One card draw for the next drink. Better luck next time.
So, you still living up to that call sign of yours?
Man can do okay, as long as he doesn't stay in one place too long. Of course, I had to get greedy. Stayed in the active reserve. All those monthly credits seemed like free money.
Yeah.
Who would have figured they'd actually reinstate me? I got played for a sucker. I ought to know better, right?
Well, I've never seen you lose a hand when it counted, vagabond. Speaking of which, I think I owe you a drink.
Where I am or what I'm doing, I want you to interrupt me. Let me know about that supply depot. Colonel, shall we cut to the chase?
Wouldn't have it any other way, sir.
Good. You know, some of these newbies rattle on about what if this happened, what if that happened. This is the brain case, I tell them. Make good use of it. Now, we're here in the Hellespont because pirates have been disrupting the trade routes in and out of the system. We do know the pirates base out of this frigate on the edge of the Hellespont asteroid belt. The job is simple. You and your wingman get in a pair of bombers, fly in there, and take them out. Now, I'll assign 2 other fighters to provide you cover. Understood?
Yes, sir. Well, Captain, it's great to be flying for you again.
Well, the feeling's mutual.
Oh, there's a few bad guys.
Recon data?
No, nothing so interesting. Just a trans to my grandchildren. New school year. They're all excited. Did you want to see me about something, Colonel?
Oh, yes, sir. The assignment we're undertaking.
Yes, we're just about ready to make the extraction. It won't be easy. We'll discuss it at the briefing. Right now, I'm due to check in at the bridge. I'll see you in the briefing room.
That's where you're wrong, old buddy.
Oh, I'm not wrong. Border world radicals. That's who's causing all this trouble.
Listen to it. Maniac, the political scientist.
You asked the colonel. We saw the same thing. It was a border worlder who dusted that Orlando depot.
Yeah. But has it ever occurred to you, Maniac, that the Border Worlds militia probably doesn't have the technology to do what we just saw out there?
We don't know what they've been up to since the big war. It sure ain't pirates out there carrying that kind of firepower.
All I know is that the Border Worlds have always been Confed's stepchild. Well, they fought the Kilrathi, too. But what do they get for it? Anytime Confed needs a dumping ground for anything from toxins to prisoners, the Border World's the place. They treat it more like a colony than a partner. If they are behind this, maybe they've gotten that desperate for their freedom.
Colonel, Confed has deemed this an especially critical mission.
Any particular reason?
Let's get down to business, shall we, Colonel?
Yes, sir.
Enemy reinforcements are headed this way, so we have to move fast. A trooper transport has just joined up with us. They'll be moving in right behind you, carrying the ground personnel who will nab the hostage. Thanks to your recon, we know just where we're going and what we're up against. The hostage is located in this structure. Now, you'll need to cover the trooper transport's descent to that location. Then make sure it gets back here in one piece. Is that clear, Colonel?
Consider it done.
Company's coming.
Captain Hugh Paulson attached to the 3rd Fleet with orders from Regional Command.
Welcome aboard, Captain. They must be important orders indeed for you to personally carry them so far.
All Confederation orders are important, Captain. Lexington is to head immediately to the Master System, where we will rendezvous with the 3rd Fleet.
I'll inform my helm. You will be filling me in on Confed's orders.
Oh, we have much to discuss. In private, Captain?
Perhaps we'd better adjourn to my cabin.
Good evening. Welcome to the TCN Nightly News. I'm Barbara Miles. In our lead story, we'll be talking to Admiral Tolwyn of the SRA regarding the escalating tensions between the frontier worlds and the Confederation. The Union of Border Worlds, as they now call themselves, indicate they remain at peace with the Confederation, but the Confed bylaws and Constitution no longer govern them. In response, The Great Assembly has decreed that border world vessels can no longer operate within Confed territory unless under military escorts. We go now live to Admiral Jeffrey Tolwyn at Confed HQ. Admiral.
Hello, Barbara. Good evening, everyone. For weeks now, we've been experiencing an increasing harassment of legitimate Confed space operations. I'm afraid innocent people are being murdered, and chaos is the result. Until we bring these perpetrators to justice, I'm afraid we must monitor all traffic flying under a different flag.
Admiral, can the Union of Border Worlds and the Confederation come to terms?
Well, Barbara, what other choice do we have?
Thank you, Admiral.
Thank you.
Next up, the scores for the Galactic Cricket Cup.
Tolwyn's right. Confed has to do whatever it takes to maintain order. Otherwise, you got everybody going off half-cocked.
Well, the border worlds have been dumped on ever since the war ended. This required chaperoning is just going to turn up the heat.
They ought to thank their lucky stars that ain't the Kilrathi bossing them around.
A lot of people think it was the border worlds who kept us in the war long enough for the colonel here to lower the boom. Your farm's in the field, real close to the border worlds. You think they should be forced to fly under escort?
We've done pretty well with Confed in charge. You gotta think about the victims of this terrorism.
What do you think will happen to the captain? He's been holed up in his cabin since this whole Paulson thing started. I mean, I'm sick of the whole thing.
Enter. Ah, Colonel. Good to see you.
Well, guess now you'll have more time to answer your mail. Captain Paulson said something about new orders.
I'm awaiting a transfer. That's the extent of my orders.
Oh, come on, sir. Someone's gonna wake up and rescind this decision.
Confed's a different place today. Running a spaceship is a different job than it used to be. Who knows? Maybe they're doing me a huge favor. Now, I appreciate your concern, Colonel. Tell the crew the old man is looking forward to new challenges.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, we have a critical situation. Captain Eisen has stolen the shuttle and fled to Lexington.
There has to be some explanation.
We have reason to believe he's been feeding information to Border World's intelligence these past weeks. That's why he was relieved of command. But we had hoped to bring him in quietly and simply pull the plug on his indiscretions. My guess is he knew we were on to him.
Is Captain Eisen piloting the shuttle?
Unfortunately, the captain seems to have enlisted the aid of Major Todd Marshall.
Maniac?
Gentlemen, I know this is difficult since you are old comrades, but this is a deadly breach of security. If the current tensions erupt into war, the information Captain Eisen might have could do us serious damage. The Confederation has never needed you more.
Do we have a heading?
Unfortunately, his destination is still undetermined. These are your wingmen. Your ships have been prepped, and ordnance has already been committed. You must bring William Eisen back.
Sir, if Captain Eisen's already taken these steps, I doubt he'll come back willingly.
Use any means necessary, Colonel. Captain Eisen must not be allowed to leave this system. He must not be allowed to rendezvous with Border World forces. Dismissed!
I'm not firing on the captain. I'm going with him. You with me?
Maybe something is up, Vagabond. Let's
Let's go.
Fight the good fight, Heart of the Tiger.
Go! You better follow us. Otherwise, you'll miss the boat.
From the Lexington?
You got it just in time. Keep that detail right there. We weren't gonna wait on that jump.
It's like you guys ran into some trouble.
We had a surprise visit from a convict frigate and her escort. This is Colonel Jacob Manley. I'm Colonel Tamara Farnsworth.
I recognize those names as Panther and Hawk.
From the Astoria system.
That's right. You're the famous Heart of the Tiger.
Look, I'd love to stand here and play get to know you, but just stay right there. We got some problems to take care of.
If you can direct us to Captain Dominguez. He's expecting me.
Captain Dominguez was on the bridge during the attack.
He didn't make it. Anybody on the bridge or in the bays didn't survive. 2/3 of the crew.
Captain Dominguez did brief us on your possible defection.
Your deal was with him, though. We gotta talk things over with the crew before you guys get too cozy, understood? We'll finish this later.
Come on, we could use some extra hands.
I fought with Captain Dominguez 40 years ago during the Venice offensive. Now he's dead at the hands of one of his own? What is all of this coming to?
I was hoping you'd be able to tell me. I've turned my back on Confed. Paulson said you were a spy.
A detective, maybe. They were feeding us a lot of bogus information. Last couple of days, I've been checking out mission data, coded transmissions, fleet movements. I've got all the information right here. This could stop a full-blown war.
But you don't know what it means?
Well, some of the pieces are missing, but what I do know is this. This clash between the border world and Confed is being provoked by certain elements within Confed.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I have no idea who they are. All I knew was that my defection could end up being suicidal. I couldn't ask you to put yourself in that position. You had to decide that for yourself when the time came.
I made my choice, sir. I have no regrets.
Well, Colonel, I hope you never do.
Listen, I'm gonna get up top, see if they need any help.
Yeah, I'll lend out a hand down here.
Bridge used to be up there. Berths were farther up.
Poor bastards.
Never knew what hit him. At least when I go, I'll be in a cockpit.
Come on, cheer up. I still say it'll be friendly fire that gets you.
I don't know. The side we picked to be on, there's a long, hard road ahead.
Will you look on the bright side? At least now you won't have to deal with that Confed promotion that finally came through.
My promotion came? My promotion! Confed, that's not right.
Yeah, that'll work fine. Well, if it ain't the new Confed flyboy. Fighting on our side, huh?
Yeah. Name's Blair.
Well, hooray. Guess that means we're gonna win this thing after all, right? Welcome aboard, kid. Chief Tech Robert Sykes. You can call me Flyers.
Thanks, Flyers.
I haven't seen one of those birds in quite a while. Not up close, anyway.
Yeah, I bet you worked on plenty of them.
Oh, yeah. Used to pull Kilrathi whiskers out of the intakes for kids like you. Yeah, I could do a few things with that baby. Hey, don't let these gray hairs fool you, kid. I can still perform miracles with nothing more than a socket driver and a pile of junk parts.
Looks to me like you kind of have to.
Yeah. Plus, I could tweak those birds way beyond the specs those egghead engineers come up with.
Well, great. I can use all the help I can get out there.
Well, just wait and see what I can do, kid. Trust me.
Happy to see you back where you belong, Captain.
Thank you, Colonel. You had no small part in it. Well, to business. As you know, to avoid further harassment, the Intrepid's going to try and make its way out of this system through this nebula. I want you to take 3 wingmen and escort us the hell out of here.
What a disaster.
Stop whining. Your first mistake was in not killing him right away.
Who? Eisen or the Colonel?
Take your pick.
What's going to happen now?
It's a good question, Captain. First of all, you're going to get reassigned. And I'm going to continue my plans. With the added pleasure of killing the heart of the tiger. What are you looking at, soldier? Just like the girl.
Your presence for the christening of the Vesuvius will be a great inspiration to her crew, Senator.
Ah, she's a bonny ship. Tell me, is there news? Have there been more skirmishes in the border worlds?
News of the worst kind, I'm afraid. Betrayal. It appears that our great hero of the Kilrathi War has defected to the Union of Border Worlds.
Blair? Defected? I find that hard to believe. He was always a hothead, but What on earth induced him to... What the devil is going on out there?
Intelligence I've collected is erratic, unreliable. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The best lack all conviction.
Whilst the worst possess a passionate intensity. Yeats. And you have no idea who is behind all this?
Well, one thing is clear, Senator. The Border World's militia grows increasingly more aggressive. A grave mistake.
I never knew Blair to be rash.
Betrayal is always a mystery.
Well, we are running out of time, Admiral. A declaration of war against the Border Worlds has been laid before the Assembly. The vote will be in 7 days. The outcome of that vote will largely be determined by your report.
Let's hope that war is not our only option.
Amen.
Ah, you see, sir? There it is, right there.
Yes, Lieutenant, I see.
What do you see?
There are holes in the data I confiscated from the Lexington.
We've got no Confed transmission data for a specific 18-hour period.
Before and after that time period, Confed undertook operations which seemed to relate to the chemists in the lab we confiscated, but without that comm data, we can't make a firm connection.
We're missing carrier group trackings, fleet movements, assignment logs.
More pieces to the puzzle.
Oh, I've got it. There's a Confed comm station right here in Orestes, orbiting the system's outermost planet.
Oh, sure. Most of Confed's comm traffic must relay through there.
Helm, set nav coordinates for Orestes 9.
Aye, aye, sir.
We're going on a scavenger hunt.
Sir.
You look lost in your thoughts.
It's never going to end, is it?
What?
I spent 7 years fighting the Kilrathi. And then I thought it was over and humanity was united, right? Now I'm taking aim on people who used to be my allies?
Come on, Colonel. We're just pilots. We don't get to choose the enemy. How'd you become a flyer?
I ran away from home when I was still a teenager. Fell in with some privateers. But the only good thing to come of that was learning to fly. Signed on with Confed when the Kilrathi moved in on my home system. How about you?
Yeah, I thought I could stay away, but this is all I know how to do.
We are smart people. We should be able to think of something better to do than all this killing.
Get used to it, Colonel. There's a lot more killing to come before we make things right.
What is this? One of our MIPs.
MIPs?
Manned insertion pod. Little gimmick I stole about a year ago from some Confed testing site when no one was looking.
Never heard of it.
Of course not. Takes them guys forever to release new technology. And with all their red tape about safety and such.
Definitely not for claustrophobic types.
No, it's a snug fit. But it's just a thing for squeezing folks into a spot where a shuttle might be too big or attract too much attention. See that? Latches right onto the target. Then laser cuts a hole so the guy inside can crawl right through.
Lock and launch procedure?
Just like firing an MREC. Of course, the fellow in there has got to release the safety first. And he's pretty much on his own with minimal steerage.
Minimal?
Enough to dock at the target, and then fly back out to where you can tractor him in. And it gets pulled right back to one of your hard points. They can fire it again if you need to. Let me show you something else. You know how the Kilrathi always had us beat on cloaking, right? And along came the Excalibur. Of course, I never got my hands on one of those. But I've been putting two and two together in my leisure time, and I came up with this little thing. Now, I won't give you a complete cloak, but it should be pretty effective in hiding you from the radar.
Any downside?
Well, nothing's perfect, right? Number one, it runs on a very rare crystal. Got a short half-life. So it could burn up pretty quick. That means you might come uncloaked at, shall we say, a potentially inconvenient time.
Number two?
Number two. I only got one of them. And a wingman who ain't cloaked won't do you much good. So if you want to use it, you gotta fly solo.
Get it ready, Pliers. Might come in handy.
You got it, kid.
Watch it. All right, Greg. Your bet. All of it. He goes for all. All right. I'll call you. What have you got? Full house.
Aces and eights.
I got 4 queens. 4 queens! It's mine. On toast, buddy. Woo! Yes!
Tell me this is a joke, Vagabond.
Afraid not, partner.
He's not invincible to the maniac moves. Nobody is. My ship has come in. Lady Luck is my bride. The lucky girl. Maybe I should have been flying for the border worlds all along.
This can't be happening. You never lose.
Okay, who's next? Oh, come on! What?
I don't mind telling you, Colonel, we're so close to that missing data, I can taste it.
I'm ready to go, sir.
Border Worlds Command is sending us a detachment of Marines, but they won't arrive here for another 16 hours. I don't think we can afford to wait. We're pushing our luck as it is. Now, the target is this orbiting comm station, which is surrounded by these turret mines. Now, here's our problem. A radar buoy, which will undoubtedly ring alarm bells across the system if you don't take it out fast enough. Now, I hope you talk to Pliers about his cloaking device. Because if you slip past those turrets and quickly kick that boy out and make our delivery.
Delivery?
Well, as you know, Vagabond's had some espionage experience. He and Lieutenant Sosha here have volunteered to go in. We'll use the insertion pods to get them in, approach the comm station, fire them off, they'll dock, get the data, and then you pull them out. Because of the clandestine nature of this mission, you'll have to fly solo, understood?
Completely, Captain.
I hope so, Colonel. Because without that missing data, we have nothing. Good luck, Colonel.
Thanks for the ride, partner. They tell us there's only a few contacts in here. Probably hide under their desk when they see our guns.
Our intelligence was kind of off. Come on! They're in here. We're going into some well-armed guards.
Hurry up!
Come on. Download 60% complete. Come on. 80%. Download complete. Got it.
You go that way. Stay low. I'll draw their fire. Go!
Come on!
We're here to say goodbye to Lieutenant Winston Chang. This was the man who flew with his heart.
as well as his mind. You know, I consider myself lucky to have flown with him. And even luckier to have been his friend. Vagabond, may your spirit continue to roam the stars. Is it what you wanted?
Well, I didn't have time to cross-scan it while downloading.
A lot of the pieces have fallen into place, but nothing that links Confed to any specific incident.
I mean, there is some unusual movement in Confed resources and coded transmissions, but they're going to take me a little time to decrypt.
Then there's the normal Confed traffic.
So it could look like business as usual.
Well, we don't have time to second guess. If the Assembly votes for war...
Then a lot more pilots like Vagabond are gonna die. You learn how to make a decent cup of coffee on this tub yet?
It was just a few hands. The aces just kept coming my way. You know, he was dealing most of the time.
Maniac. You're an idiot.
I know. Maybe if I hadn't gloated so much. You know, shoved in his face like that.
That's not what I'm saying. You think that Vagabond lost the will to live because you beat him at cards.
I never beat him before.
We've got an SOS, Colonel, from a convoy broadcasting any Border Worlds craft in the vicinity. Now, I don't know what you're going to run into when you get out there, so stay alert. Now, the convoy appears to be moving around, probably trying to get away from whatever is causing it grief. But they were last sighted here at these coordinates. Bring that convoy back to our location, Colonel.
Yes, sir.
Colonel, I suspect there's little need for an introduction.
Greetings, Colonel. Never did I expect our powers to cross again.
Small universe.
My only regret is the circumstances that now bring us together. Since my personal surrender to you, Colonel, we Kilrathi have tried to coexist peacefully with terrors.
Melek and his convoy are seeking safe passage back to their new homeland in Pascal.
We have been harassed by unknown forces for the past 48 hours.
He brought us a copy of his ship's DR log, sir.
Must be the weapon that was used back in Hellespont.
I thought so, exactly.
I first signed on with Confed, there was a rookie pilot on my ship. He's the only man I ever met who could do that trick.
What was his name?
He was transferred out real quick, disappeared into Confed Intelligence Ops. I can't remember his name, but he flew under the call sign of Seether.
I could do a lookup in Confed registry.
That wouldn't do any good, Lieutenant. When Confed Intel wants you blanked, you're gone forever.
I heard some weird talk about a GE program, but never found out what it was.
I'd just love to get that son of a bitch in my sights.
No offense, Colonel, but I wouldn't want to tangle with that guy. If he was that good then...
Malik, I'd like to keep this recording. This, combined with the information that we've collected and decoded, will have to be enough. We've got less than a week before the assembly votes. Colonel, I want you to meet me back here in 10. It's time we made our move.
We'll be jumping to Pasquale soon. You should be safe there.
As you know, Colonel, we Kilrathi dismantled all of our warships under the terms of our treaty with the Confederation. Thus, we have no means of defending ourselves.
We'll get you home, Malik.
But why is a new war waged upon us? My race no longer presents a threat. What happened to the Terran concept of absolution?
Still alive. Most of us.
Forgive me, Colonel. I am railing at the man who I should be thanking. I wish I could properly express my gratitude for your assistance here.
Consider it payback.
What is this word? Payback?
Well, you may recall that a few years ago you had the chance to kill me. Didn't.
It's a decision I do not regret.
Me either. Oh, there is one thing that you might be able to help us out on. Those 2 ships that attacked us, they came at us cloaked.
Yes?
Well, you Kilrathi always had us beat when it came to cloaking. So, if there's anyone with experience in your convoy, I got a chief mechanic that would love some advice.
You're suggesting high-tech payback? Consider it done.
Thanks, Malik.
Major.
Sir.
Thank you. This is it, Colonel. I'm shipping out.
Personal delivery?
I think it's best that way. I haven't been in this man's Navy all these years without developing a few contacts in high places. When the boys at Confed see what I've got, they'll realize they have a few rats in the house.
Can you trust them?
What choice do I have? They have influence at the assembly. And they're the only way of stopping the declaration of war.
Captain. Transcom coming in, sir.
Ah, Vice Admiral Wilfer. You know who this is. He'll be the Intrepid's acting captain in my absence.
How do you do, Colonel? I must say, I've always wanted to meet you. Colonel, you all right?
Oh, yes, I'm fine, Admiral. Wilford? Weren't you with Confed, sir?
40 years of service. Came out to the border worlds to retire. But they convinced me to come back to work.
I know the feeling, sir.
You'll be consulting with Admiral Wilford on mission assignments. He's constantly on the move. We're lucky to have him in our system. By the way, Admiral, what happened to that squad of Marines you were sending?
Sidetracked. Operation in the Lennox system. You know how thin our resources are. They'll be there within the hour. Looking forward to working with you, Colonel.
The Admiral's not much on goodbyes. Time I said mine.
Talk to you later. Who did that?
officer.
Same to you, Colonel. Same to you all.
Everybody here? Get to it. I want to start off by saying I'm going to do my best at running things in Captain Eisen's absence. Any of you have any questions or suggestions, I want you to come to me. We'll talk. Don't bitch and moan behind my back, but just remember, I have been given the job of making final decisions. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Certainly, Colonel.
All right, let's get to it then. Gotta move fast on this one, people. We've just entered the Pasquale system, and Melik sources report that one of the Kilrathi planets, Pasquale 10, is under attack.
Fighters with Border Worlds insignia.
Of course, we all know that they are not being flown by Border Worlds pilots. Now, my guess is like everything else we've run into, it's the renegade faction of Confed behind this. Now, the hot spots are in these 3 nav points. I'll be taking 2 wingmen up. We're going to clear them out. Now remember, they're in ships that look just like ours, so be alert. We don't want any friendly fire casualties here. Well, that's it then. Dismissed.
Incoming!
You the boss?
Yeah, something like that.
Lieutenant Colonel Decker and company reporting for duty.
Colonel Blair.
The cat killer.
Look, you people were supposed to be here hours ago.
Well, things got a little hairy in Lennox. Speaking of which, I hear you're trying to bring home a few cats.
You got a problem with that?
You're looking at a veteran, Repleta, and a man who escaped the Kilrathi POW camp. It took a lot of years out of my life. That war's over, ain't it?
Yeah. It looks like we got another on our hands.
Well, as ordered, experts at hand-to-hand combat. They don't look like much, but they get the job done. Come on your feet, let's go. Get up, come on. Ready to go to work?
Good. Get him prepped for a mission. We're gonna see some action.
All right. Go.
We're approaching Melik's home, which is a Kilrathi starbase.
What's their status? My attempts at raising the station have been met with complete silence. No response on any channel, sir.
In other words, We don't know who or what's down there. Now, our Marine contingent has finally arrived, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take 2 wingmen up, sweep the area for hostiles. The starbase is located at the second nav point. As soon as we've secured the area, we'll signal for Lieutenant Colonel Decker and his men to shuttle out and gain control of the base while we provide cover. They're prepping right now. Melik's going to follow in one of his own shuttles, and once he's delivered, we'll escort the Marines back to the Intrepid, which will be at a new location near the jump point leading out of the system. Now, keep in mind, there may be more Border World ships out there piloted by the enemy. Everybody got that? Dismissed. This is where we say goodbye, Malik.
My ally will be most interested in this new picture I will offer of the heart of the tiger.
I never met a flyboy who could hump a 60-kilo war pack across 30 clicks of double-gravity terrain. You guys are soft where it counts.
Oh, we're soft. Let me tell you about soft. I took a Marine on a little joyride once. I jammed the stick, took the skyscraper climb, cut the juice, reignited halfway through our fall. I flipped into a bank and roll, little 360. I was just warming up. I look in the back. The grunt has tossed his cookies, passed out. Just from taking a quarter G to 5 Gs. The rejects at Space Academy, they make Marines.
What a crock. You guys go for the cockpit because you can't cut it up close and personal.
Up close and personal, I hear Marines have no staying power.
Marines go all night long and then some.
Not with their sabers extended.
I'll show you some staying power.
Huh? You want a piece of me?
I'll kick your ass.
Oh! Oh! All right, all right, all right. All right. Thanks for backing me up, Colonel.
What the hell? My radar's just taking a dive. Same here. Shields are down too. Wing 3, report. All CNC systems have crashed. Whoa, where'd those bogeys come from? Look sharp. Their radar sure ain't jammed. I've looked onto one of them. Firing. Damn. Hacker, brake left. It's veered towards you. Oh my god. They've killed our weapons guidance system too.
Sir, while you were flying, a high-priority message came in from the Admiral.
Let's take a look.
Colonel, I've been getting strange, troubling reports out of the Peleus system. Now, we've been losing ships, yet there seems to be no enemy presence. I'm ordering Intrepid to look into this. Peleus is absolutely vital to our efforts. The major source of fuel, as well as a strategic location. Lose Peleus, and our cause cannot prevail.
You heard the man.
Yes, I did, sir. Inputting coordinates now. Entering Peleus, Captain. That's strange.
What's our status, Lieutenant?
Shields down, radars down, sensors down, guidance systems down.
Emergency systems. We're sitting ducks. Reverse course.
Right away, sir.
Maybe we can pull out of range of whatever's causing this.
But this is great. Now we gotta fly blind? Groping around like some pathetic sandworm on ISIS 7?
You still have eyes, you know. Welcome to Peleus.
Can I get my money back for this tour?
We've pulled back from the edge of this jamming black hole, sir, but I'd have to say we're still only partially sighted.
Well, then we got no choice. We go out on a search and destroy.
Hey, that's suicide. There could be a whole fleet waiting out there for us. We wouldn't know it. No radar, no shields.
Without any guidance systems, the dumb flyers are going to be the only firecrackers worth taking.
Okay, something's thrown a blanket on this system. Let's go out, find it, and put it out of business. Move!
The heck is this? None of the others have one. Didn't go bang. Must have a separate detonator.
What's wrong? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
You'll never believe who Decker just hauled on board.
Decker? What the hell are you talking about?
Just go see. Go see down in the hold, the storage room. I think that's where Decker stowed him.
Begin to convey my despair on hearing of your defection.
We're not officially at war, Admiral. Think of it as a re-enlistment.
We weren't officially at war with the Kilrathi either, but there were two sides, and defection was the only possible movement between them.
It's the Confederation who's forgotten about loyalty, sir. It's Confed forces behind all of this. Someone who wants to start an all-out war.
Yes. I believe you're right. I think your perceptions of things, for the most part, is absolutely true. That's why you find me here. Dog soldiers, you might call them. Renegades within Confed who sow disorder.
Yes. There's a highly skilled pilot involved. His call sign is Seether.
Well, I'm not surprised you too have run into him. The fact that you find me out here tells you how delicate these investigations have become. Finding somebody I can trust has not been easy. During the war, there were many black ops, secret efforts to finish off the Kilrathi. Many of them so highly classified that I'm just learning of them now myself.
Like the GE program?
Genetic enhancement, yes. Some idiot thought they could breed the perfect warrior.
Is Seether a product of that program?
I wouldn't know. That was shut down well before I got wind of it. At any rate, I thought I might track him down here. We were getting the same reports about the jamming. But I can assure you, it was not authorized by Confed HQ. And that hidden installation was empty by the time I got there. You wouldn't happen to know where this seether is now, would you?
No, I...
Well, time's running out for us, Colonel.
Us?
You and I. Both want to prevent war, not wage it. There's still a place for you in the Confederation. We're on the same side, Colonel. Always have been.
I'm not sure we are, Admiral. I'm not sure I recognize what CONFED stands for anymore. But these people, aboard this ship, I know them. I trust them. If there's going to be a war, this is the side I'm on.
Am I your prisoner of war then, Colonel?
Like I said, we're not officially at war. You'll be released. And I hope you're right, Admiral. I hope we are on the same side. Hours.
46? It's only been 20 for me.
What?
Since I slept.
No, I'm talking about how long it's been since Captain Eisen left. He hasn't sent a trans, has he?
Not a glitch. He makes it.
Boy, for our sake, I hope he does too. Get the feeling that data he's carrying ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, it's real thin.
He'll be able to argue his case convincingly.
Yeah. What if he argues in front of the wrong people?
What do you mean?
Look, CONFED's a much bigger machine than any of us can possibly imagine. That bastard Seether and whoever he's working with can marshal incredible resources.
Sure, mercenaries, pirates, CONFED craft, our craft.
The unmarked ships?
Yeah. And all without the rest of CONFED even knowing about it.
And meanwhile, we come off looking like the bad guys.
You get pushed, you push back.
Giving them legitimate cause to gear up for an all-out war.
The assembly votes in 5 days.
Yeah, and they haven't got a clue as to what's really going down.
Okay, so tell me, how does our little boat fit in?
And we get ready for the fight of our lives.
Roger that.
Thanks.
And not long ago, I received a series of transmissions, secret data on enemy power. All right.
Where's Sosa? What are you doing? Well, I'm a pilot. I don't see a flight stick on this thing. This message came in a few minutes ago, and
we have a breakthrough. Recently, we've been able to link certain elements together. Perhaps we should have stumbled on this during our troubles in the Paleus system. But looking at that again, along with your position when you recently acquired those unmarked fighters, made us go back and examine other recent hotspots. Some complex triangulations have brought us to the calm at the center of the storm. And its name is Axios.
Been there, done that. Nothing in Axios.
Still an educated guess when all is said and done. But accompanying this transmission is everything we have on the Axios system. It's barren, unpopulated, desert planets. Perfect place to stage a massive force. We picked up one report of a rather large capital ship moving into the system. Good luck in your investigation.
I'm telling you, it's a wild goose chase. You want to kill some time before things get hot? Axios, here we come.
Not quite. Set our coordinates to the system closest to Axios.
Yes, sir.
We're not all going in until I see what's there. Yeah, I see. Maniac. All right, we're heaving to just outside the Axios system because I don't want to risk this entire ship. Makes me nervous when it looks like no one's home. Lieutenant, what does Wilford's data tell us?
Planets are uninhabitable, so forces would be space-based, but there's a lot of comets, space debris floating through the system, so they would still have to be pretty mobile.
With these new fighters, can't you just go in guns blazing and take them by surprise?
And with no idea what's on the other side, that's typical Marine tactics.
For once, I agree with Hawk. We have to recon first, see what they've got.
Right. Now that's why I want a pair of wingmen to escort me to the jump point leading into the system. They'll peel off, and I'll go in solo. If I'm alone in one of their unmarked ships, I shouldn't attract too much attention while I snoop around.
Do you know what wartime protocol is for captured spies, Colonel?
Well, you only live once, right? All right, let's go.
Typical Marine behavior. Saved your flyboy butt many times.
Outside.
in the Telemann system were a rousing success. I congratulate all who were involved. And before we close, I give you our esteemed leader.
Thank you. I am here, my fellow soldiers, to commend you on your valiant efforts. You, the Black Lance, will be humanity's first line of defense. Now, various enemies of the Confederation have already met with you. They know very well what you are capable of. Soon now, I will be able to reveal your existence to all the Confederation, and you will get the praise which you so richly deserve. I also wish to extol the efforts of your great commander. A fine example of what the genetic enhancement program promises for the future. The strong shall survive. A primary universal law. The species that is weak faces extinction. You know, not so very long ago, our species faced extinction. Now, the truth is, our victory over the Kilrathi was not a clear verdict of our superiority. It was a fluke, a temporary purchase of time. We will someday face an enemy far worse than the Kilrathi, and it is our duty to prepare, to remain strong, and to remain vigilant. Even if that means discarding certain elements, for separating the wheat from the chaff. Now, in the Gen Select device, we have a tool to do the job. We have tested it, and we shall use it. As you all know, the border worlds are an enemy birthing in our midst. They threaten our unity, our strength, our humanity. We all have a duty. My own is now with the Great Assembly, where I shall ratify the foundation that we have laid. When the moment comes, my fellow soldiers, you must fight, and fight hard. Thank you.
I know who you are. If they find you, they'll kill you.
I got a fire waiting if we can get to it.
No, come with me. I know the way.
Someone should see this. I should go.
What'd you find?
Tall one. It was him all along.
Son of a... I knew it. You had him, too. Should have put a bullet in his head when you had the chance.
Hey, Bud. You know that weird disc gizmo I found on that ship? Well, I finally figured it out. I still find it kind of hard to believe.
At this point, Flyers, you're too blessed to believe anything.
That baby packs a hell of a punch. You could take out a capital ship or a building, maybe even an entire installation with that thing. And what's really incredible? It does it from the inside out. Sounds crazy, don't it?
Not to me. I've seen them in action. They're called flash packs.
Well,
how many do we have?
Just the one. But I could rig up a few more in a week or so.
There's no time for that. It's called the Vesuvius. Its maneuverability and acceleration make us look like we're standing still.
Right. I saw it when it was under construction, but I just had no idea they could get it online this fast.
It's set on the standard jump point route to the Sol system. Ship that large, there's no other option.
But a ship our size has other options. Look.
We can take a shortcut through the Ella-Star system and squeeze through this smaller jump.
Which Tolan is never going to expect.
Because right in the middle of the system is a Confed superbase.
Exactly. Of course, invading their airspace will attract attention.
And then some. Ella's densely populated.
So we launch a preemptive strike. Flyers told me about that disc.
A flashback?
Thousands of civilians would be killed if you use that. The superbase isn't isolated from the rest of the system.
We have a chance to stop the war. To save millions of lives, we have to catch Tolan and stop him.
Agreed, but hitting them first, I say we make the superbase come after us.
Do you have any idea what kind of force they can throw at us?
Look, it's gonna be tough getting through. Sure, but using the flashback deliberately causing civilian casualties, that is morally wrong.
Look, the flashback is off limits. We'll try and outrun them.
I think that it's despicable behavior that you would even talk
Civilian
about
casualties
like
aren't acceptable.
No, they're not.
That's enough. Now, this is going to be the hardest mission we've ever undertaken. We're going to escort the Intrepid to this jump point. That means trying to slip past the Ella Superbase. And if they come after us, and I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't, it's going to take everything we've got to defeat them. Now, our only other chance is to cause civilian casualties, and that's, well, it's unacceptable. Now, we can do this, people. Maybe we'll just stop a war in the process. All right? Let's go.
Good to see you, Colonel.
Very good to see you, Captain.
Hell of a communications rig, huh? Well, we don't have time for me to fill you in on everything, so for now, let's just say that I still have a few friends at Confed HQ. The ship I'm in is the twin to the Vesuvius. And even these things have a few soft spots. Now, I'm going to dump a whole lot of data on your comm officer. Blueprints, IFF codes, the works. As you can see, certain areas of her flanks are somewhat vulnerable. Now, once these turrets are taken out, we'll see if we can't even up the fight a little.
Yes, we will, sir.
Let's go.
For you now, kid. I can rig the splashback gadget for you if you want. Seems like it'd be just a ticket for taking out the Vesuvius. Only thing is...
What is it?
Well, I've been studying the specs that Captain Eisen sent us.
Yeah?
That alloy they use for the skin of the supercarriers. Well, I don't know if the flashback will work on it from the outside. Seems like your best bet might be to fly inside the Vesuvius and lay the pack down in its innards. Yeah. Get a replacement for it. Yeah, firing on the inside should work.
Wow. That's what I gotta do. Load her up, Fires.
Okay, come on, let's get this out of here.
Sir, we have an incoming transmission.
Well, I have to hand it to you, Colonel. Your tenacity has always impressed me. But don't think you can hide behind the shield of the St. Helens any longer. She's taken far too many hits. Never should have been jumping in the first place. She wasn't really ready. You may be tenacious, but I'm the one who's invincible. You should know that by now. You won't prevent me from addressing the Assembly as Space Marshal. I think it's time to take care of the Colonel.
With pleasure.
The heart of the tiger. He's always been a thorn in my side. He could have been truly a great warrior. Now he's nothing more than a traitor.
Colonel, we've taken a lot of damage. I knew the ship wasn't ready when we pulled out of the dock. I'm afraid we're not going to be much good to you from here on out. If we're to stop the Vesuvius, it's going to have to be up to you.
I've got one more surprise for Admiral Tallwin and his ship. A little bell ringer called a flash pack, which I intend to deliver personally.
Good luck, Colonel. I pray you can do it.
All right, people, let's move.
Colonel, the Admiral has given us the slip. He's holding all the cards now. If we even make a move toward Earth and force, it will only lend credence to his case that the border worlds are on the warpath. I understand you got a look at Tywin's Black Lance operations from the inside.
Yes, sir.
The way I see it, if there's any hope of stopping this war declaration, you're going to have to head to the Assembly yourself and tell these politicians what you know. Problem is, you're hostile in this aspect. No doubt Tywin is alerted Terran security. You'll face substantial automated lunar and Terran-based defenses. You got your work cut out for you, Colonel, but I have faith that you can do it.
Good luck.
She can do it.
The Assembly is in session. Today we honor a man who has dedicated his life to the protection and defense of humanity. We congratulate him on his promotion to his new post. Space Marshal Tolwyn.
Esteemed Senators, thank you for bestowing this honor upon me and for allowing me to speak to you before you cast your momentous votes. Well, we can no longer ignore the obvious. The border worlds wage war against us, and we do nothing but issue decrees. We can no longer turn a blind eye. Let me lay out for you some of the more egregious transgressions that have been committed against innocent Confederation civilians. Yes, a formal declaration of war is a very terrible thing. It should not be undertaken unless all options have been exhausted. And I'm afraid to report to you that that is the case. We did not fight the Kilrathi for decades just to have an infection hollow us out from the inside. If there is a cancer amongst us, we must cut it out now. I urge you to vote yes on this declaration. Thank you.
There is a cancer that needs to be cut out.
Seize that man!
But it's not on the frontiers of the galaxy, but right here before you.
Well, come. This is the great hero of the Kilrathi War, who has betrayed the Confederation and now fights for the Union of Border Worlds.
I fight as I always have, on the side of peace and honor. Please, Paladin, hear me out.
If any man has earned the right to a hearing, it is Colonel Blair. Let him speak.
What price freedom, Admiral? I come here to tell you the truth. The truth about what's really happening on the outer fringes of civilization.
Please, Colonel. You insult me as well as everyone else here. Do you really believe that this chamber is that ignorant?
No, Admiral. I don't believe anyone here is ignorant, least of all you.
Thank you.
I simply seek to shed new light on events. The border worlds have fallen victim to a plot, which if allowed to proceed will make all of humanity a victim.
Well, I suppose there is a strange logic in that. Well, please, continue, Colonel.
Do you deny, Admiral, having anything to do with the troubles on the frontier?
Only in my efforts to end the troubles to maintain law and order.
Control at what cost, Admiral?
I am a warrior, as you once were, Colonel. I do whatever is necessary for victory without question.
Without question.
Have any of you questioned the Admiral about his Black Lance forces?
Marshal, what are these Black Lance forces he's referring to?
An elite force of men that I have assembled to protect our galactic interests.
And these forces are stationed at a starbase in the Axia system, isn't that right?
Well, it is my duty to station forces where they may be needed.
And the Black Lance have some extraordinary equipment at their disposal.
Effective soldiers require effective tools.
Like highly advanced fighters with no markings?
Prototypes often fly unmarked.
Yes. Making it conveniently difficult to identify perpetrators of criminal acts.
We have identified the perpetrators. They fly the same colors as you do.
The skies are full of criminals, aren't they, Admiral?
It appears so.
And hundreds of thousands of innocent lives have been lost in pursuit of these phantoms. Admiral, do you believe the strong always survive?
With every fiber of my being.
Is that why the head of the Black Lance forces is a product of the genetic enhancement program?
That program was cancelled years ago.
He's more of a warrior than you will ever be, Colonel. He is excellence personified. He is
dead.
He is symbolic of all that we will achieve in the future.
Space Marshal Tallwin believes that our victory over the Kilrathi was a fluke. That we as a race need tinkering with, engineering. If a few billion die along the way, well, they weren't worthy anyway. Why can't we be more like the Kilrathi, addicted to conflict, the only meaning to life being found in death? Tell us all, Admiral. Is that the price of freedom?
Mankind was at his zenith when fighting the Kilrathi. Now our society is crumbling. We have no goals, no focus. We've grown complacent and confused. Who will protect us when the next race tries to dominate us? Who can tell where that threat will come from and when? No. We must be prepared. Progress only comes through struggle. Fighting keeps us fit. Conflict ensures our readiness and our survival. The Kilrathi understood this. They endured for millions of years, and so shall we if we continue fighting. If we continue to perfect our methods of killing.
I think we've had enough. The Assembly will now vote. This tribunal is now in session.
That man has undermined everything.
Justice!
You saw the results? And I couldn't go on!
Evan, it's your fault!
The Honorable Admiral Tallwin.
This tribunal finds you guilty of crimes against humanity.
Space Marshal Tolwin's appeal was denied today. Tolwin is now slated for execution tomorrow.
So here you are, an instructor. Not a general or a senator. And you could have had everything.
Everything means I keep flying. So if you ask me, I've got everything.
I envy you, Lenny. At times I wish I'd made the same choice myself. So how's that farm?
I'm not a farmer.
I'm talking about rolling a bomber, not fighter. Yes, sure, you never rode in training.
Of all people, Maniac taught me one thing.
Well, hey, pal, Senator, what?
Well, you said either you're an earthworm or an eagle.
I said that?
Hey, Colonel! We've got a fresh batch of newbies to shake down.
They can wait a bit. I think I'll log some flying time.
Senator,
Maniac.
yeah.
Shut up.